Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the SG. Thank you so much. Today we have two great teams from Scholarcy. Yeah, and what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do another demo of how to use Scholarcy. Welcome to the SG, Casey and Yuva.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you
Hi,
today?
everyone.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
So
rainy day.
yeah, and thank you for your time today because it's so I mean, I've been looking at Scholarcy for quite some time now, and I really need to understand how Scholarcy works, and it's good to be connected to you guys because you are already the users, yeah, for Yuva. And maybe I want to move to Casey. Casey, can you tell us a bit about what you do and maybe a background of the company? Okay, go ahead, Casey.
Absolutely. That's great. Right. So my name is Casey Tang. I'm from IES Research, a research outreach consultant. We basically focus to helping researchers to curate their research manuscript, transforming them into a series of stories, and focus on promoting them on social media channels. So we do convert research publication into plain language summary, graphical abstracts, videos, and etc. to create short snippets of their research and help them to do promotion on various social media channels such as Facebook,
Right.
Twitter, LinkedIn. Even we explore to WeChat, Weibo in order to target to China researchers as well.
Okay.
Right.
So you're saying that if I'm a new researcher and I want to get my research, known to the public, to the domain, yeah? So we can work with you and you're going to create some sort of summary, I would say, of what we do. Is that the idea?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Thank you, Casey. So I'm moving on to Yuva. Thank you, Yuva, for being with us. Yuva, I think, is an avid user of Scholarcy. You've been
Yes.
using Scholarcy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell us about what you do every day, Yuva.
Okay. So hello everyone. Okay, my name is Yuva. Okay, Yuva Rani. Actually, you can call me Yuva. So basically, I'm working with IES Research, and my role with them is as a research curation consultant. So like what Casey has mentioned, we summarize and we produce snippets as well as your material in a more widely reachable format, right? So my job is to create the story for your story. So
Okay.
yeah, so in order for me to do that, there's a lot of reading that is needed. So hence the usage of Scholarcy when it comes to reading.
Right.
And a bit about my background. I'm a biochemistry major, and I started off my career with the medical faculty of UM, where I was attached with the UM Medical Center. And then I moved on to become an educator with Sunway University. And after that, I decided to venture out, and then I joined IES Research. So if you look at my journey eventually required a lot of reading from my end. And when I first came to know about Scholarcy, that was like an eye-opening session. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of time being saved for a lot of us.
Right. Okay. I totally agree. And on my end, when we started, when we found Scholarcy, so the whole team was like, "Wow, it's so quick to get the summary of the reading,
Yeah.
right?" And for me, it's like, okay, so this is a game changer for a lot of researchers, right? And I believe that in order for us to understand how it works, we need a quick demo, yeah, because I've been giving them the free trial, but not many of them actually understand how it works. Sorry, Casey, I see Iris. Is she? Does she want to join? Is that okay
Yeah.
to?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Sure.
if I can just add her. Right. Hi, Iris. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but we want to move on to Yuva. So maybe she wants to watch this. Right, Yuva. So I'm gonna show your screen. So if you want to share, okay.
Okay.
Right.
So
So you minimize.
can you see this?
Yes, I can see that. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna put
Great.
your screen on the whole. Yeah. Okay. So you
Okay.
can. Yeah. You can go ahead. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So basically, Scholarcy is actually an online summarizing tool which is powered by AI and machine learning. So what Scholarcy does is that it breaks down or it summarizes your research articles into bite-sized flashcards. So with that, it would be easier for you to digest your research paper, I mean, whichever research references that you would like to browse through before you actually add it into your literature review. And the good thing about Scholarcy is that it also provides you, there are 5 things that Scholarcy highlights. Okay, sorry. So there are 5 things that Scholarcy can do. It's that first, it identifies and explains the key concepts. And then apart from identifying and explains, when I say identifies and explains the key concept, meaning, you know, when you look at a research article, you would have keywords, right? So those are the keywords that you can identify. And if you hover through those keywords, I would be showing this to you later. You would actually be directed to the explanation to it. And then we also have
Sorry, Yuva. Can I interject you for a while?
yeah,
Is it
sure.
possible for you to close the video so that we can have a clearer audio? So if you can switch
Close
off your video cam, I think
the
it's going to work better. Yeah,
okay.
just switch off your stop cam. Yeah, down below. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah, because we can still see your screen. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go back to your screen just now because I think
Okay.
it's, yeah, that's better. Okay, go on.
Okay, great. So apart from summarizing your article, summarizing the article for you, it also highlights some important points that
Mm-hmm,
based on the pattern recognition, I mean, language pattern recognition algorithms.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then it has, when it summarizes for you the citation, if let's just say the highlights include the citation, so the citation, whichever references that that particular article has cited, you would actually be able to access, in the sense that you could see what is the I mean, which one are they citing, which paper are they citing, and where did that statement come from. And then we also have links. Okay, you can actually look into the links of all the cited sources, which is the reference in the article. And lastly, you could also extract the figures, tables, and references from Scholarcy. So I guess it would be easier if I show you the actual version of Scholarcy. And
Yes, please. Yeah,
yeah, so if you go
because
this,
all of them, sorry, Yuval, all of them have been using the free flashcard, but not only some, yeah, bought the premium version. So if you can show us once we log in with our premium account, what happened?
okay,
Yeah.
so this is the premium account. This is the outlook that you would get when it comes to the premium account. So,
Okay.
so when you look at the premium account, so you have few items over here on your left. So
Yep.
first you will see the library. So the library is for you to actually categorize your reading materials. So like today I'm using the demo, right? So I created this folder and I've uploaded a few examples that I would like to showcase later. So same, you can actually categorize all of your projects. I mean, it could be project based, it could be depending on your phases, or depending whether you want to use it for your method reference. It totally depends on how you would like to categorize them. And then there are also the shared library. So shared library is actually for you to share it with someone. Of course, the person that you're sharing your reading materials with has to have a Scholarcy account as well. So if let's just say you've got a compilation of papers that you would like to share with your seniors or your juniors or even your lab mate or your teammates, so you can use this function. And profile is pretty much just a normal thing where you have your profile. So if you look at settings, you can choose like what's the length of summary that you want, and what do you plan to extract. So like if you click on extract tables and figures, over here there's the remark that it's slower because in order for Scholarcy to extract the tables and figures, it will take slightly longer time than usual, but it wouldn't take hours. It will just extend a bit more than its usual. Uh, within a minute you are supposed to be able to get your summary, but here maybe it could extend slightly longer. That also depends on your,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Can I just
Yeah.
say that if, let's say, the first objective is to get your summary quickly, then we
Mm-hmm.
turn off the tables and the figures,
Yes,
right? So
yes,
we
you can
turn
hide
that
that.
off, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that we get quicker results. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
So let me go back here. Okay, so now that over here, what you can see is that you have the share button for the shared libraries. And let's just say, because sometimes when we read, we tend to save them in a folder, whether it's on Dropbox or on Google Drive. So if let's just say you have got more than 10 articles that you would like to summarize in one go, you don't have to upload the articles one by one. What you could do is that you could actually just upload the entire folder here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it will generate the summary for you. And so if let's just say you want to upload one article, so you can see what kind of whether you want to, if you already have the downloaded version, so you could actually just drag and drop it here, or you can choose from your file. Or if let's just say the paper is actually available online, but it has to be open access. If it's behind a paywall, then you would not be, you would get a summary, but it's based on whatever that can be seen with the paywall. Usually it's the abstract. Okay. So if it's an open access URL, you can actually the Scholarcy can actually summarize the entire article for you. Okay. So I've already uploaded some. So let's look at the article's summary. So when you move on to the article summary, it's pretty much similar to the free version. Okay, you still get all of this. Okay, so if you want me to explain, so what happens is that when you upload, you would get actually a sentence. So the sentence is actually something that is tweetable, which highlights what is the findings, or what is the relevance, or what is the important point of the article. And then we move on to key concept. So if you look at key concept, when you look at articles, sometimes the keywords are limited. So what Scholarcy does is that Scholarcy can actually churn out key concepts or key points that it feels which is has been repeated a number of times in the paper, or it feels it's significant. So it will churn out. So it's definitely more than the keywords that you can find in the keyword portion of your article. Okay, so if let's say you are a non-field expert, meaning you are not from this field, but you would still like to know about this field, or if you find some words are new to you, some jargons are new to you, here there's a link. You can actually click onto it and it will direct you to the Wikipedia page to sort of give you understanding.
Yeah,
Okay?
I think this is very useful, Yuva, because a lot of times when we read, we don't know, what is the area,
Yeah.
and and I think this give quick reading. Yeah, so this is very useful. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Especially for researchers that are not in the same field, a lot of these terminologies is like have a separate meaning as well.
Exactly. True. Right.
And,
Okay.
also my experience as because yes, we learn English. Okay, Malaysians, we learn English, but sometimes some words that are being used are quite different and
Right.
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
sort of helps.
Contextually. Yeah.
Yes, so it sort
Okay.
of helps the non-English speakers or those
Yep.
with slightly poor English background.
Yep. Okay. That's
So
very
that's
useful.
that's the key concept. And then we can move on to the highlights. So if you look at the highlights, okay, the abstract is from the abstract exactly from the paper, but they've also highlighted it for you. Okay, so when you look at the highlights, there are two different colors over here, right? So basically, the yellow highlights are what they call as the important points. So what Scholarcy feels that it's important from the paper. And the pink highlight is actually the contribution. So in this study, like over here, they investigated the delivery of TQ. Okay, so this is the contribution of the paper. So it sort of gives you an idea what is the end product of this paper. So you don't have to try to understand. I mean, not say you don't have to try to understand, but you don't have to try to figure out what this paper is actually trying to say. What is the final product of this paper? So
Exactly. Yeah. So sorry, Yuva. And I think this is the what you call the best feature of Scholarcy, because sometimes what happened to researchers, they go and download, they print, and then they highlight doing the manual thing, and suddenly they found, oh, this paper is actually not relevant. And we have wasted so many papers, cut so many trees. Yeah. So I think this is the best feature of Scholarcy. Yeah, giving the outcome, the results very quickly. Okay. Go
I
ahead.
mean, what happens a lot of time is that because researchers, we don't just read. We don't have a time allocated just for us to read, because
Yep.
while we're reading, we are simultaneously doing other things, in the sense that we might be handling other projects. We might be
Mm.
teaching. Some of us are in teaching. So,
Yep.
and also you would be doing your lab work. So at times you just browse through the paper because you need a reading material. You need to identify your references, but when you browse through, you tend to miss out the points. So Scholarcy can, with the highlights like this and the different highlights, so it sort of gives you an idea of what are you looking for and what the paper is uh, presenting. So it sort of, once you've
Mm.
got it, eases your process of selection, the article selection,
Mm.
especially when it comes to making it more relevant to your research.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm. So
Mm.
that's
Okay.
for the abstract. So another thing is a Scholarcy highlight. So Scholarcy highlights are bullet points, okay, highlights based on bullet points of the entire article. So meaning they came up with a few bullet points to exactly summarize what the paper is about. Okay, so usually based on my experience, what they look at is that they would give you the a problem statement, in the sense that what is the bigger issue. Usually it's from the introduction, and then some of the highlights are on the thesis statement, if depending
Mm-hmm.
on how the paper is written, and also it would end with the conclusion. So you sort of get the idea of what is the problem that they want to solve, and what is the solution that they have proposed in this paper. So you generally, yes, you still need to read the paper if you would like to include it into your reference, but it sort of helps you in identifying the relevant paper.
Okay.
Okay, and like I said, language barrier. So sometimes we tend not to be able to identify which is the important points in the paper. So this highlight sort of assists you in capturing those points.
Totally agree. And as an English teacher, I can actually attest to that, because sometimes paragraph is so
Yeah,
difficult for us to understand paragraph, but it's
yeah,
easier for us to understand one line,
yeah.
sentence like this.
I mean,
Okay.
especially when it comes to science, the language of
Yeah.
science is it's beautiful, but at the same time, it tends to confuse a lot of people.
Exactly true. Thank you. Okay. Go on.
Okay. And then we
Mm.
have a scholarly summary. So scholarly summary is section based, because each papers are based on sections, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
let's just say you have an idea based on the highlights, you have an idea that what the paper is about, but you would like to dig in further. Let's say you would like to know further, then you can see this quick portion, this quick summary, this of like the introduction, what is the objective of the paper, what method has been used, and the results, the quick highlights of the results, and also the conclusion. So this is similar to the highlight, but it's slightly an elaborate version of the highlights. Okay, so if let's just
Okay.
I mean, you can look at this. You want to skip this, it's fine, because the actual elaborate version is here. So if you click, let's just say introduction, you would like to know in the introduction what are the important points. Okay, so here they
Mm.
have highlighted. So within the introduction, what are the important points they have highlighted? And like if you have this kind of short form, so you just hover over it, this abbreviation. When you hover over it, it sort of gives you the actual version of what the abbreviation is, so that you can understand whether it's like what it, if you are new or you are not the field expert, you would know what this thing actually stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would like to, I mean, then if you look at it, each portion there's highlights. Okay, so earlier we saw the yellow and the pink highlights, right? So there's also a green highlight. So the green highlight here is basically statistics. They actually capture whichever statistics or the results that is that Scholarly feels is an important contributor to this study. Yeah, so you have the green highlights, and then we move on to the reference. Okay, so the reference portion is one of my favorite portions, because
Yeah.
sometimes when we read an article, we tend to scroll through the reference to actually get more references or more articles that is relevant, or to actually understand how this article or this research was built. Okay, so some of the papers in the reference portion could also be beneficial to us as well. So what happens here is that you are allowed to download, okay? Download in the sense that you download whether the BibTeX format or the EndNote format. So some of us might not be using EndNote as a reference management tool. We could be using other reference management tools. So what I would recommend is that for you to download the BibTeX version. So once you have downloaded the BibTeX version, when you move on to your reference management tool, all you need to do is just export the BibTeX into your reference management tool, and this entire list of it would appear there. So
Wow.
yeah, you don't have to go one by one. I remember my time when I was doing my research and my degree and my master's. What happens is that you tend to copy and paste. Okay,
Exactly.
half of the
Exactly true. And now research has moved on, yeah, to a simpler way.
yeah,
Yeah.
like everything can be done in one click, and I'm like, where were
Correct.
you when I was a researcher?
Of
Uh,
course. Of course.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's one highlight. Okay, that's one benefit of it. And if let's just say, like previously, we would, if we look at this reference, we would like to search for this paper and then read the paper to see whether or not it's relevant, right? So over here,
Yeah.
these are some icons that could actually direct you on that matter. So like over here, this icon, it can actually help you to locate the open access version of this paper, or if like whether you can find this paper on Google, like Google Scholar. Okay,
Scholar. Yeah.
and
Hmm.
so you know where to locate. You don't have to actually type this entire thing or copy paste this entire thing into Google and then try to search through it. Sometimes you tend to not get the
Yeah.
exact article, so this one directs you to that specific location. And
Exactly.
even before you can search for this article, over here there's an icon known as Scholarcy finding. So if Scholarcy finding, if let's just say I were to click Scholarcy finding, so what happens is that it helps you to sort of churn out some points, some bullet points of what the article is about. So when you read through this bullet point, of course, I would still recommend for you to look at the paper, but it sort of tells you whether or not this paper is relevant to your research and whether or not you would want to further look into this paper.
Which
So
I think is a very useful feature as well, Yuva, because
yes,
before we decide to go to the paper, then we know, okay, read the summary, the bullet points and see
mm-hmm.
whether it's relevant for us to go, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, time
So it
saving.
yes,
Okay.
it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort,
Yeah,
and because it sort of helps us to, especially for early career researchers. I
exactly.
remember my time. I used to. I practically read everything because I'm a reader. So I just read everything, and then I wonder how am I supposed to select. So
Yep.
this one sort of reduces that struggle.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think similar experience for everyone, Yuva.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I believe that actually demotivates you, every
Oh
day when
yeah,
you do the same flow, right? Like
yeah.
opening website and then finding articles, printing it, highlighting, and then need to go back again and again. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
your literature review process become very slow and it become a demotivation for us. It demotivates you to go further. Thank you. Okay. Go
And
on.
yeah, another thing I would like to add on to what you have just said is that I know because being a researcher myself, being a reader myself, I have the habit of having a physical copy with me. So
Yeah.
I love to print out as much as I love trees, but I think I contributed to a lot of dead trees as well. So uh,
Okay. Not
so
you alone, I believe.
yeah, so
Okay.
we, we
Yeah.
we just love to have the physical copies and we tend to
Yeah.
highlight them. Okay, so but the problem is that when we want to search, like
Mm.
I always have this issue, like, oh, I remember reading this paper, I remember reading this point, but when you want to physically search for it, my goodness, you would have to go through the
Yeah.
entire stack. Okay, so
Exactly. Mm.
having a digital copy actually saves a lot of time because we always have that search button, which the searching can be done by the app itself, I mean, the website or even the computer itself for you. So
Okay.
when you have this, you can download like all of these highlights, right? You can actually download it into your Word document. Okay,
Yeah.
so you want to export it into your Word document, you can actually export it into your Word document. So I'm just going to try to export this. Okay, yeah. So when you export this, you would get the exact version, okay, of what you have seen. But the downside is that the highlights are not included, meaning you just get the words,
Not
the highlights.
clickable. Not
Yes.
clickable, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
But this would help with, let's say you want to do literature metrics very quickly. You want to
Yes.
compare 10 articles, right? And you want to copy and paste. And this, I believe, is the best feature of Premium Scholarcy. So
Yes.
when you subscribe, and this is what you can do, right? Because a lot of clients, students are asking about what's the difference between the free version and the premium version. And this is one of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, okay, since we are speaking about the premium version and the free version, so if you realize there's a browser extension over here, right?
Yeah,
So,
on top there.
this browser extension is actually free. So if let's just say you want to just like quickly summarize one paper, then this browser extension is actually very much useful. But
Yeah.
if let's just say you want to summarize more than an article, because currently my browser extension is I'm logged into my premium version, right? So it's related. I mean, it's attached to that.
Of
Okay.
course. Yeah.
Yeah. But if let's just say you want to use the browser version that is free, totally free without the premium version, you can. So all you need to do is that if you have the paper online, okay, let's just say you have the paper online. So you just go to the paper and you click on the browser version. So when you click on the browser version, it sort of summarizes this article for you here. Okay,
Yes.
so if you just look at the layout is exactly the same. But if you have a premium version, you have this icon over here where you can save this into your library. Okay,
Yes. Okay.
so
Okay.
you can always go back to it whenever you need it. But if let's
Okay.
just say you don't have the paid version, yours is a free version, you won't have this. And what happens is that the moment you move to another site, okay, the moment you move to another site and you come back, this thing disappears.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you need to re-click and re-click it for it to re-summarize this entire thing.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
the downside is that over here you get the summary, but you don't get something to hold on to.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
So
that's the
I believe, yeah, thank you for that, because I think that's the most important thing to mention, because some of the clients are saying, wow, we love Scholarcy, that we are trying out every day, but the downside is they cannot save the summary into, and then cannot copy into their Word document, which is a
yeah,
shame, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you spend every day doing the same thing over and over again. So I believe that for a price that Scholarcy is giving, I think it's worth a try. Yeah. So okay, can we move on to the next one? You showed just now the
Yeah.
export document. Can you show us the note? I saw the note, right? That notes, right? So what do
Oh,
we do with that?
this is for you to make notes. If let's just say,
Mm,
while you're reading it and you have like an idea or something that you want to pay
yeah.
attention to, so you just type, okay, which part of it that you want to pay attention to, and then you just add note to it, so that when you
Okay.
refer back to this, you sort of understand like what was your chain of
Yeah.
thoughts. Yeah.
And I think this is useful as well, because all the time when we read the article, you always have something to say about the paper, right? So interactive reading, and this is where you put, yeah, so the notes. Wow. So when we export, will the note come with us, or how does the note work? Is it just online, or when we
Mm,
export the document, where
yeah.
do we find the notes?
If I'm not mistaken, then you can find the notes here online. I'm not sure it can be.
Exactly, right. Okay, I have to try that. I will
Yeah.
try that today, because I
Okay.
believe that notes is part of our processing of the whole
Yeah.
material. I'm
Yes.
sure it is, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Yuva, do you have anything else? What else do
Mm,
you want to show us as export?
So actually,
What?
that's pretty much. Oh yeah, there's one more. Let's look at the method. Sorry. This one I don't have a table of figure. Let me show you the one with an example with tables of figures. Okay. I think this one has. Yeah. So if let's just say you would like to, the research paper comes with a lot of tables and datas, right? So if you
Yeah,
would like to replicate the what is this, the research, so you need to look at the data. You have to
yeah.
cross-reference the data, so you can
Okay,
actually download the tables on your Excel sheet.
okay.
Mm.
So this is where we can download. The Excel, yeah, the
Yeah,
Excel,
the
the
Excel. So
tables
the
in
Excel
Excel.
is for the tables and data, depending on what. Remember earlier I showed you, you could click, right, whether you want the tables
Yeah,
and the figures. Yeah, it depends.
exactly.
Yeah,
So if you click on that, can you show us download tables of
very
Excel?
soon.
Can you show us how
Okay.
it would look like? I believe it comes out as an Excel form or
Yes.
a JPEG form for pictures, right? So
Yes.
if it's pictures, then it will come out as
Okay.
pictures.
So,
Okay, right.
yeah, so
Okay,
it depends on how I mean, what data is within the paper. So it sort of
okay,
gets it out in this format. Okay.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
yeah. So I think that's very much what you have to know about Scholarcy. So if you
Yeah.
have any questions, I could always answer them. I could try my
Right.
best.
That I believe that among the concerns are because
Mm-hmm.
the researchers are currently trying out the free trial, and
Mm-hmm.
then they decide to take the 1 month subscription. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
take 1 month subscription, and then suddenly they say, okay, I want to stop my reading. I want to
Mm-hmm.
come back maybe 2 months later. So the
Mm-hmm.
question that they ask me is, will this saving the library that they save, will it still be available?
Uh,
In it is, right? It
yeah,
is
it
Yes,
is.
available.
yes, it
Yeah,
is still available.
it
Yeah.
is available,
So
Casey. Yeah, thank you for
Right.
confirming. Because yeah, I also checked, and it
mm,
is, and it makes sense. So because not all the time that they'll be doing the reading, so they
mm-hmm.
subscribe maybe the first 6 months, and then they stop, and they come back later,
Mm-hmm.
and the files are also
It's
saved
still
there.
there.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Right, and a lot of them are using Scholarcy for two purposes so far, as I know. Yeah, number
Okay.
one is to do your literature review in the first year.
Mm-hmm.
So you are preparing for your 3 chapter proposal. So you
Mm-hmm.
use Scholarcy maybe first 3 months or 6 months, and
Mm-hmm.
then they come back again towards the end of their literature. I mean, towards the end of their writing, so that they
Mm-hmm.
can check again for updated
Yeah.
literature. So I have two types of users right now. One,
Mm-hmm.
the first year. Another
Mm-hmm.
is the final year.
Final
Is there
year.
any other way, Yuva? Can you share with us? Team researcher, right? So you
Uh-huh.
mentioned that if, let's say, we have a group of 5 doing the research, so
Okay.
each and every one of them must have the premium version, right? For them to
Yes.
have the shared library. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Mm, okay.
Because
So, yeah,
yeah. So because I mean, if you don't have the premium version, then you wouldn't be able to access with this.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I do have some researchers team contacting me asking, okay, we want to have a license for 5 people, for example. Yeah. And
Mm.
then, they want to put that in their grant
Mm.
application. So
Mm.
I say,
Mm.
yeah, it's possible. Okay. So
Mm.
that answers me. Right. So I believe you have actually answered a lot of questions, Yuva. Thank you so much for today. Let me just put us back in.
Okay.
Hang on. Yeah. Okay. Let me put my video. Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think a lot of researchers are going to be happier lah, not happy, happier,
Right.
because yeah, Casey, this is, and even from my own experience, this is the first block that you
Mhm.
have when you try
Mhm.
to do your research. Because imagine the workflow every day is all about looking for papers,
Mhm.
printing, highlighting, processing, summarizing, and especially for non-native readers like us,
Yes.
Malaysian, we
Yeah.
got to process a lot of scientific terms.
Mhm.
I think this is going to change a lot of things. Yeah. So I'm going to
Mm.
share this video to
Mhm.
all the Facebook groups that we have. And
Mhm.
and if we have any more questions, we will come back to you. Is that
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's great.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Yuba, because
Thank
being
you.
a user, your perspective is different from,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
let's say just a technical person or something. And even I have learned so much from your sharing today. Okay, so Casey, do you have anything else to say? Casey,
Nope,
do you want to?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
good.
you.
Yep.
So, yeah, we will have another session for IES later
Mm,
because we
Okay.
want to showcase what you do,
right.
especially I think the summary of the researchers'
Right.
work. I think
Additional
that's
services to help the researchers to promoting research visibility. So
exactly.
definitely
So,
happy to do another session on that.
yes, please. Yeah. So we will talk about that because I think this week what we'll do is run a lot of scholarly awareness. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Scholarly awareness to the researchers. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Iris, for joining. I'll chat with you soon. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
thank
Take care.
you.
Goodbye.
Right. Hang on.